Welcome to Health Coach for Women. Intentional living for more happiness and fulfillment in your everyday life with your host, Marsha Roopchand-Walker. Join Marsha as she shares her own personal wellness journey, as well as stories from our guests that will enlighten and inspire you to move towards better health and happiness. Now, here's your host, Marsha Roopchand-Walker.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Health Coach for Women, a podcast where we explore alternative and holistic solutions for better health and wellness. And I am your host, Marsha. Now, before we get started, please hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Now, I want to talk to you today about choices. Yeah, choices. Making choices and how that impacts your life, right? And because we all given free will and we have the opportunity to make choices. And we know with those choices can give us certain outcomes, right? And so that's what I want to talk to you today about. Now, when we're making choices, sometimes, first of all, when we make choices, who are we making those choices for? Is it for ourselves? Is it to please other people, to make them happy, to fulfill what they want? Or is it something that's part of not just for yourself, but for the collective that benefits everyone? So it will vary, right? Depending on the situation, it will vary. So your choice to move on from a different job to a different career could be that it wasn't rewarding, it wasn't fulfilling, and it came with a lot of unwanted, unpleasant experiences, and it just wasn't helping you to grow, right? Career-wise. So we make that choice to move on, right? That company or organization is going to move on, find a replacement or whatever. It may cost them, right? Especially if they're losing a valuable employee. But hey, if they don't see what they have, if they don't see their value in the employees, then hey, you have to do what's best for you, right? So that's one example of making a choice, right? What about making the choice to move forward to a better relationship, right? We make those choices. Why do we do that? Why would we choose to make choices when it comes to, or either even to improve ourselves, right? Not just a relationship with our spouse or partner, but with ourselves, right? And so because happiness is a choice, right? Happiness is a choice and it's a priceless commodity. And so if you are choosing, right, if you are choosing to live in a place of abundance, to choosing to live in a place of peace, abundance, prosperity, health, and better health, wellness, you know that there are things that you need to do to make that all come to fruition. You know that there are things that you need to do to make that happen and to stay in alignment with what you say you want to do, right? To be in alignment. And so sometimes we have to make the hard choice of letting things go and people go that don't serve you on your journey, right? Sometimes you have to be willing to do that because what happens is if you stay stuck, right? If you stay stuck, whether it's staying in a relationship that you know is toxic, whether it's being surrounded or by people, family, friends, or whatever that you know are just negative and full of drama, you have to be willing to let it go, right? You have to be willing to let it go. And so that's what I'm referring to, being able to make the choice to move on. You can make peace and you can also move on, right? Making peace and making the decision to move on to do what's better to serve you, Now, everybody may not like your choice. Maybe everyone may not approve of your own choices and decisions that you make, but it's not for them to decide. It is not for them to decide what is best for you and your own health, your own wellness, your own journey, right? It is for you, and it is up to you. No one can change that for you. So you have to be willing to let go and move on. How can we do that, right? We can't stay stuck in feeling guilty. Now, we can reflect, right? It's always important to reflect, right? Reflect on things, on what part you played a role in it, in a certain situation or event that happened, right? But it's not for us to dwell and linger on, and where it brings us to a place of resentment or anger or bitterness or feeling guilty or anything like that. So we have to be willing to say, this is what I'm choosing, right? I'm choosing me, and I am not bound by others' opinions, right? I am not bound by what other people think about me, right? And when I'm saying me, I'm saying you, us, right? I'm not bound by those things. We can't be bound by those things. And we can't be bothered but what other people say or may think of you, right? We can't be bothered with that, because people will always have opinions, okay? People will always have opinions and have something to say, whether you're doing good for yourself, whether you're not doing good. If you're doing good, they're envious if you're doing good, and they have something to say about that. Now you have some that may be happy for you and, and wishing you best and good will, right? With good intentions. But you also have people who have bad intentions, right? They mean you harm. So when we come across things like that, and that can be for relationship, right? Again, your partner's spouse, whatever, because of whatever it is that's going on with them. But when you are growing and when you are learning and growing and evolving, you have to decide what is best for you. And so you may have to choose to make the choice of either staying in something that is toxic or choosing to move on, because it's the better choice for you, right? It's the better choice for you. And, you have people that stay in marriages because of the children, we got to make it work for the kids. When you guys are miserable and you think the kids don't see that, you think your children don't notice that, they see it. They may not talk about it. They may talk about it amongst each other or within themselves. But they see that, right? They see that. So, again, it always comes down to choices, right? And what about choices when we choose to not only career-wise making the best decision for our careers, right? Making the decision to choose on who we have in our circle, right? Who we have in our circle. Okay. So if you are someone who is positive, upbeat, not into drama and chaos, you want to surround yourself with people like that. You want to surround yourself with positive people, people who lift you up and not tear you down, people who will support you no matter what. And even if they may not agree with you, right? Even they may not even agree with what you're doing. Maybe you have this idea of, I don't know, becoming an astronaut or an adventurer, and you want to bungee jump off of a high building. I don't know, right? Something crazy that maybe some other people may say, well, that is too out there. That is just too out there, or maybe it's something as, I want to be the first I don't know, the first woman to ever do such and such or to achieve such and such. And you may have those people who may say, wow, go ahead, do it. Shoot for the stars, aim for the moon, shoot for the stars, but then you have those who, may think that your idea is just beyond reach, right? Beyond reach, because it's limited in their mind, right? It's limited in their mind, so they can't see it and they can't achieve it. And so they will try to hinder you from what you're trying to do, right? They will try to hinder you from what you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish. So you can't be bothered by those who don't support you, those who don't believe in you, those who disagree with you on different things, right? Because again, you can have good intentions and someone will always see the negative of that, right? Someone would always see the negative in that. And, some things you just have to pick your battles and you can't worry yourself. And when people talk, whispering and talking negativity about you, you can't worry about that because you know who you are, right? You know who you are. So you can be unbothered, unscathed, right? And unmoved by what the naysayers have to say because they're going to always talk, right? So when we're choosing what's best for us, right? When we're choosing to do what's best for us, we have to do it with knowing, with unequivocally and being having the intention of what we want, right? Setting your intentions that this is what I want, and I want it because it serves me in a better way. It serves me in a better way to be a better person, right? Now, I'll be the first one to tell you, am I somebody who is this perfect angel, Mother Teresa, or whoever? No, I'm not. I'm human, right? And so I can go through emotions, and that's why even in my book, and I even had a podcast episode on emotional intelligence, right? And sometimes in that moment, we may say things in that moment that we may not in that moment have time to reflect on, right? But then later on, you can reflect and say, oh, maybe, you know what? Maybe I could have handled this differently. Oh, I could have done this differently. And can that person be the bigger person and say, you know what? I claim that. I admit that, I did this, this way. I could have done this differently. But it's when you can look at that and reflect on it and be emotionally mature, to have that intelligence to say, you know what, this is what I did. And you know what, my bad, my apologies. I did this. And because I did, or I said this was the outcome. And so it's so good as when you're on your journey, you're learning and you're growing, to take time to just reflect, take time to, still loving and appreciating and accepting all of who you are, right? All of who you are, the good as well as the bad. But the bad, we want to work on improving that, right? On the bad, we want to work on improving that. And the good, we want to work on improving that so we'll do even better, right? And so, when it comes to life decisions, now, if you're a family person, I'll say this. If you're someone with a family, your life decisions is not based on just you, right? Your life decisions is based on the whole collective of the family, right? And so we have to make wise decisions, wise, intelligent decisions that we know that if we choose a certain situation, if we choose a certain path, how will it impact those around me, right? How will it impact those around me who rely on me, such as my children, right? Such as your children or whatever. How will that impact you? So we have to be very mindful in when we're making certain choices and decisions, right? But when you totally decide that you want to do something that you know that you strong-heartedly feel in your heart to do, and it compels you to do so, then you must do so. Do so with the intent that it will bring about the best outcome for all involved. That's when I say that, I'm saying as far as your family circle, maybe even in a working environment, it can impact and play a role in different ways in different situations. But it's so important to be able to know that you have choices available, and we think that we don't have choices. But we don't realize how much choices that we really have and the power that we really have, right? You know, you have people they work in certain jobs, or they work jobs, period, for doing different things or whatever. And they're unhappy at their job, right? But, you know, like I always say, wherever you are, right? And whatever job you are doing, you want to do it to the best of your ability, even though you may not like it, even though it may not be rewarding. Because when someone can look at your work ethic, and someone can look at not only your work ethic, but your character and your integrity, it's something that sticks with them, and they will always remember you. They will always remember you. Okay. And when something, maybe another opportunity for something better may come within that company, they'll keep you in mind. You know, they'll keep you in mind that, oh, this person, she's a good worker. You know, she carries herself professionally. She does her work. She goes above and beyond. She does the best. She does the best that she can, even in circumstances where some things are just beyond her control or whatever. You know, there's maybe the computer systems are down at work, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say, right? You know what I'm getting at. So, you know, we can't say that, you know, we're not able to choose, because we are able to choose at any moment. We're able to choose. You know, you can go to work and somebody might just tick you off at that moment, and you may just choose to just walk out and say, forget this, I'm done, right? Without really carefully thinking and planning things out. But you can also go in and in that same moment say, you know what? Okay, this is how it's going to be, but this is how I'm going to turn it around. And this is how I'm going to make it work in my favor, to my advantage, because the mindset that you have, the mindset of being positive and putting out positive energy out there into the universe, keeping a smile on your face, you know, and being pleasant, even though you may not want to, right? We have to choose. What we choose to do is, and keeping our mind and our thoughts free of negativity. Keeping our minds and thoughts free of negativity. Because it will really wear you down. All right. So when we think we don't have choices, we have choices. We're able to choose. You know, you don't like that job that you're at. It makes you feel miserable. Create a plan, create a strategy, plan carefully, right? Create this plan for how long and what you want to do and how you want to do it, and then go about it and execute it and make it happen, right? Set your goals of what you want, your timeline, your time frame, and just execute and make it happen, right? Make it happen. All right. And when it comes to your circle, keep your circle small and tight, right? You don't want to be someone who is the smartest person in the room. If you're the smartest person in the room, then guess what? You need a new circle. Okay. You need a new circle. And so when I say that, I'm saying that because You want to be around people, like I said, who is doing better than you and who will elevate you, help elevate you, not to bring you down, right? Not to bring you down and talk negativity, right? And speaking negativity because for whatever reason, they may not agree with you on certain things, or maybe they just some type of power control person, right? And they just want to be in control and control every situation and every moment. When then that's not how it is. That's not how it works, right? And you want to be free-spirited, giving, loving. And the most important thing, that I can say, to anyone is when you are growing spiritually, right? And you are advancing in a way that's beyond some people's comprehension, it's okay because they're not where you are. They're not where you are, so they're not going to understand, and it's okay. And when you have to move on from some people, then you got to move on, right? You've got to move on. And when I tell you, when God, the Creator Most High, whatever you choose to call him, when he removed people out of your life, it is for a reason, okay? When some of those friends fall by the wayside, they don't call you anymore, they don't reach out anymore, say thank you. Thank you. Thank you for removing those people, because maybe you couldn't do it. You're just soft-hearted person. You just didn't want to, but God made it easy for you. He removed them people. They don't call you anymore. So what? Who cares? Who cares? Because as you're growing, your circle is going to change. Your circle is going to change. Everyone that come into your life, it is for a time and a season with good reason. Now, I didn't mean to make a rhyme on that one, but I did. Okay. So everyone comes into your life for a time, a season, and for good reason, because life is the school, right? Life is the school to teach you, right? So that you can learn and grow from your experiences, negative experiences, as well as positive ones, right? But for me, I want to always keep positive vibes and good energy and be of light to someone else, right? If I'm doing something where I'm making you feel horrible and things like, please, then I don't need to be around you, because that's not the type of person I want to be around. So we have to always be willing, right? Be willing, again, free will, to choose and decide what is best for us, right? What is best for us. And it's not about being a people pleaser to other people to appease them, right? It's about what you need to do for yourself to grow and to continue to elevate. And so when I say the best thing to do and the best way to be is to operate with love and compassion. Operate with love and compassion. You have people where you have people who dislike you and you haven't even done a thing to them other than say hello every morning, right? Other than be pleasant and say hello, other than give them positive words, right? You have people that just don't like you for any reason. And why is that? Because they don't like themselves. It's not about you. No. It's not about you at all. It's just something that they see in you that they don't have. Something that they see in you that they don't have. So because they don't have it within themselves, they project that onto you. And so they dislike you for no apparent reason, right? For no apparent reason. You got to rise up above that, right? We've got to rise up above that, because that is not the way that we want to live, right? We want to live in harmony, right? We want to live from a place of love, abundance, having compassion, right? Not saying that you always have to agree with someone. It's okay for us to disagree, right? It's okay for us to disagree, but for us to agree to disagree in a positive way, that we can both share our views and opinions and respect it, whether we have difference of views and opinions, and be okay with that and leave it at that. Leave it at that and move on. Okay. So I wanted to share that. Let's continue to be positive. Let's continue to put positive energy out in the atmosphere. Let's continue to, on the plane, and I'll just say this before I wrap up. On the plane, when I took my mom, when we all went on a family vacation, there was so many people that were so pleasant. And I met some new friends, on the way, just on a plane ride, inviting us, to their family gathering that they were having. Unfortunately, we wasn't going to be able to attend because we were leaving, but telling us all the places to go. The people were so friendly and kind. They didn't look at the color of our skin. It was none of that. Okay. It was, the nicest people, that I've ever experienced. Some of the nicest people, the natives in Molokai, that I could ever experience. And this is really, really true. And even on the plane, the people who were so generous and was willing to, exchange seating, for my mom to make things better for her on the flight. It was just truly amazing. And I'm glad that I was able to do that, because that was on her list. That was on one of her places that she wanted to visit. I was so glad that I was able to do that for her, of her own choosing and a decision, right? And I wanted to make it happen for her, and I did it. So I'm so happy for that. But just knowing that sometimes strangers that you don't even know, you don't have to know a person to be nice. To be nice and to be kind, it's a beautiful thing. And so I end that on operate with integrity, operate from a place of love rather than resentment, jealousy, fear, okay? Because you got a lot of people living and walking around in fear, right? And that's not where I'm at, okay? So hopefully that's not where you are either. Because God doesn't have the spirit of fear. We move in a spirit of love, right? Moving in a spirit of flow and abundance, prosperity, wellness, compassion, right? Being kind and generous to other people. And without the perfection, but just genuineness, right? True genuineness, authentic, being your authentic self. People see that. People see it. They can spot it a mile away when you're being fake. Okay. They can spot it a mile away. You can look at a person and you can know right away, just looking at a person's demeanor and how they interact, how that person is, and I'm not saying 100%, but for the most part, if that person is someone who is a person who has good energy. I'll just keep it simple. Good energy, good vibes. I see it and I experience it all the time. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. I just wanted to share that. Thank you so much for tuning in and just continue to do great, be great, do amazing things. Don't operate out of the spirit of fear. Operate out of spirit of love, right? And show more compassion to others and do well for yourself. Remember self-care, right? Put your mask on first, okay? Put your mask on first and take care of yourself. That way you can better take care of others. All right. And on that note, I'm going to go ahead and end it. And until next time, bye for now.
If you are struggling with health issues like chronic pain, being held back by past traumas, or feeling overwhelmed and hopeless, please know there is hope. There is help. Transcendence, a woman's guide to healing and self-love for better health, happiness, and abundance, is a blueprint to help you get your life back and reclaim your health. Within its pages, you'll learn how to elevate your existence by shifting your mindset toward the positive, focusing your energy on what's really important, using gratitude to feel deep appreciation, changing your gene expression through epigenetics, building resilience, and living in a state of flow, feeling love overflow within. Go beyond an ordinary life. Transcend. Buy it now.
Thank you so much for listening to Health Coach for Women with your host, Marsha Roopchand-Walker. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please be sure to rate, subscribe, and review on your preferred podcast listening platform. We really appreciate that effort. Until next time.